Well, good morning. We are here on our first Overland. We are in Osborne, Idaho. This is a beautiful place. We've been here before. Want to do a big shout out to Watson's Market. They're letting us store a couple of vehicles here, along with Kozo's Customs right here across the street. Brian's been a huge help and supporter of ours, and we've stopped here at Watson's when we were on our Overland last year. It's a great place. So if you're in Osborne, check out Watson's Market. We have 8 vehicles going with us on this trip. This is going to be a 5-day trip. Our first day, we are going to Elk River. We're going to do that via Clarkia, stop at a Cedar Grove, and a couple of other things. So we're finally ready. It's about 10 o'clock. We were trying to get out of here about 9, but I was definitely not ready. We've done our initial check. We are ready to go. So let's get on the road and get to Elk River. All right, well, we are up here at our first mountain peak. This one is a killer view. If anybody knows me, they know I love these where you can see 3, 4, 5, 6 mountain ranges. That's one side, and then you come over here and you got the same thing on that. So far things are going pretty good. We are heading down towards Marble Creek right now. We made it to the Marble Creek Interpretive Center. This is one of the places we stopped when me, Linda, and Chris did this last year. So pretty cool little place. They do have a bathroom here. It is right on the St. Joe River. I think there's some camping or something there, but the sign does say no overnight camping, but I can't remember what's back there. So we're gonna take a quick stop here, then get going down Marble Creek. That's gonna be a pretty good one. We're along Marble Creek quite a bit, and then our next stop should be Clarkia. No. Damn it. All right, well, we did a quick stop here by J&E here in Clarkia. You kind of come out this side and come down. It's right over here by the road. They do have fuel here. I don't think anybody needed fuel. We're only about 25 miles or so from Elk River. So we grabbed some ice cream, took a quick break, and then we're gonna jump back on, do this last loop. We'll go to the Giant Cedars and then Elk River. Well, we were trying to get going here in Clarkia, and it looks like, unfortunately, Jimmy's rig won't start. It's making a clicking sound. So we're trying to figure out what's going on with his starter. Okay, so what we found is in this Kawasaki, I think this is a KRX, the starter solenoid is right there. So this is behind the driver's seat. And we were able to jump it and get the starter to turn over. So it might just be an issue with that starter solenoid going bad. We were able to get Jimmy's rig started. Seems like there's something in the solenoid or wiring to his starter. So we're gonna go ahead and make our way to Elk River. And once we're at camp tonight, we'll evaluate what Jimmy's gonna do and see what our next options are. Well, this is unfortunately part of the deal. This was the only way I knew through to get to this one section, and that's what it currently looks like. And unfortunately, we had somebody climb over this pile, and there's 3 more up there. So we're gonna get turned around and see if we can figure out a different way to get to Elk River.
You got a good wide spot right back here. So yeah, start heading that way.
All right, well, we made it to Elk Creek Campground. We have 3 spots here. We're gonna be in this spot. There's other people in the one next to us, and we've got one more that's across the street. So this is the same campground that me, Chris, and Linda stayed in. The nice thing about it is all the spots do have 20, 30, and 50 amps, so we can do a little bit of recharge. They do have vault toilets, and they also have water spigots. So I did get a interesting battery powered shower. So we're gonna give that a try, probably go get some water in a collapsible bucket that I have, and then put it on a tree somewhere, and we'll at least be able to wash all this dust off of us. Well, good morning. It is Thursday morning, day 2 of our 2026 first overlanding trip. We are packed up from our campsite. We just got back from talking to Jimmy this morning. They found a loose chassis ground on his rig, and that's what was causing the starting problems. So his is now starting and put back together and working correctly. So today we are heading to Elk River. We didn't actually make it there yesterday. We came directly to camp to get fuel, a couple supplies that we need. Then we're gonna run over to Dwarshak over the Grandad Bridge. That's one of our favorite views. We'll stop there, probably have lunch, and then we're gonna drop down into Pierce. We'll get fuel again in Pierce, so this will be a double fuel day. Since we didn't get fuel yesterday, there's a market there if anybody needs any last things that they didn't have here in Elk River. Then we're gonna head to our destination, which is the Rocky Point Campground. That's the one we were at 2 years ago when Kevin was having issues with his Can-Am and had to put a bunch of oil in it. But that should be a fantastic place to camp. We were there for a couple hours and we said we definitely wanted to come back there. So everybody is getting started. Let's get on the road and go have some fun today. All right, well, we made it over to the gas station here in Elk River. It's right here where the convenience store also is. So the pumps are above ground pumps here. Everybody's got their fuel. So here in sort of downtown Elk River, this is the gas station convenience store. There's a couple of lodges. There's a bar over there. There's ice cream right there. We should have stopped here last night. Ice cream would have been really cool. So we're gonna start our first journey of the day, which is basically going over to Grandad Bridge. I've never done this leg. This is what me, Linda, and Chris tried to do, but didn't get to do last year. And we will also have a slight detour. I'm gonna see, I tried to find a way so that we're just not running the road for like 30 miles or whatever the road is. So we'll probably see if we can do a slight detour off the main road and have some fun. All right, well, we made it to the Grandad Bridge. This is the Dworshak Reservoir, and it actually looks pretty good. We were here a couple of years ago, and you can see on the edges where the water level usually is. It might be down a couple feet at most, but we were here and that was like 40, 50 feet, and it was crazy. So good to see that this reservoir has filled back up with water, but it is really hot on top of this bridge with that sun shining out. So we're gonna get going. We're gonna shoot up the mountain here, and then we're gonna take a right at the T and go along the reservoir and then out and finally hopefully get to Pierce. Well, all right, we made it into Pierce. We've been here many times following the Idaho BDR. We're gonna get some gas here at the mini mart, and then we're gonna go over to where that bridge is, and there's a little swimming hole over there that we're gonna go get cleaned up on before we head out for our next leg of today. Well, we stopped here at the creek. I jumped in, got myself cooled off. This is a really cool place. It's kind of right across from the gas station, and there's a baseball field here, but there's a really deep spot there. They built it up there, and it's a really nice place to stop real quick and cool off. So we're gonna run up to the grocery store and see if we can get Jeff a mat. The mat that he brought, he does not like, and he's looking for something a little bit better for the next 3 nights. So the grocery store is just right down the road, and then we're going to be heading off towards the Lolo Motorway to find our campground for the night. it's always interesting on some of these. We're up here, I think this is Hemlock Butte or one of those, and we found some white snow. So still kind of interesting. It's mid-July and we're finding snow. All right, well, we got here to Rocky Ridge Lake. Jeff is already in the water. How's the water, Jeff?
This is fantastic.
So we've been here before. We were here 2 years ago, but you can see this is a really good lake. It's clear except for where Jeff's muddying it up right there.
I'm dirty.
And it has 5 camp spots. So we just happened to luck out. There was none taken when we got here. Actually, we followed this Nissan up. They came up from Elk City. They grabbed that spot. We grabbed this one, the one up there, and one other over there. So there's 5 camp spots here. They're pretty decent. They have tables. There is a vault toilet over on the backside and a lake. So we're gonna cook some hamburgers tonight. I think that's what's on the menu, and see what we wanna do. Somebody threw out an idea of just staying here for 2 nights and exploring the area, which isn't a bad idea. We may do that, or we may continue on the route that we planned. We'll get together tonight with the group and see what they wanna do.
Next morning.
Well, good morning. I believe it's Friday, but once you get into these trips, sometimes it takes a while to even figure out what day it is. We are packed up here at Rocky Ridge. We had some great campsites. 3 of them were here. 3 of us were down there. The lake's right over there. We actually got the lakeside one, which is pretty cool, but there's campsites all around. So today we're gonna do the Lolo Motorway. We will jump down to Locksaw after that, get some supplies, then come back up, and we're gonna head over to the Kelly Ives area. We have like 4 or 5 campgrounds we can choose from. We were gonna go to Cedars, but we might go to one that's a little earlier. Today's gonna be about 130 miles is the plan, but if we go to an earlier campsite, we can do less miles today. And tomorrow I think it's only 81, so we can kind of balance that out and have a little more tomorrow and a little less today. So that's the current plan. We are all packed up and ready to go. We cleaned up the campsites as much as we could, looked around, made sure there was no garbage, and now we are ready to get to Lolo Motorway. We've definitely been hitting some really good stuff here. Somebody had come through and cleared, but unfortunately a couple of these hadn't been cleared. as wide as we needed. So clearing those and looking up there to see if there's anything else we need to make a little wider to get through. All right, well, we got most of those cleared. There were some of those that were definitely too narrow for this Turbo S, which is a 72. There's a couple other 72s with us. So we're gonna cruise down here and see if there's anything else we gotta clear. Well, we got to where the group that we were following ended right here, and unfortunately there's a whole bunch more behind that. So we're gonna cut a handful of these and get up. We sent the boys up to kind of do a quick evaluation. If there's a lot of this, we do not have the resources to be able to do that. So we'll at least do our part and get a little bit of this cut down and see how much further we can get. Otherwise, we're gonna have to make a decision on what we wanna do. If we really, our option would be to call an audible and go to Pierce and go back up the Idaho BDR or something like that. Well, we are back here at Rocky Ridge Lake to have lunch, because why not have lunch at the same place where you had breakfast left and came back to? Because that's how today's been so far, but there's hope. So unfortunately we couldn't get over the Lolo Motorway. We came back here, got a new game plan, talked to a couple people who were here that know the area. We are going to run back into Pierce, top all the rigs off because we've already ran about 40 plus miles. And then we're going to take the Pierce to Superior Road, which will eventually dump us into the Kelly Forks area, which was one of the places we were looking at staying, or we go up a little further to Cedars. So unfortunately, those who hadn't been on the Lolo Motorway, which is one of my favorite parts of this trip, won't get to see it, but we'll be able to salvage the next 2 days. So we're gonna get back to Pierce, get topped off, and then we're gonna get heading back out on the road. Well, we stopped here at Hemlock Butte. I don't know if you can see it, but the lookout tower is right up there. And this view is pretty killer. I'll see if I can get my cell phone out. It takes a little bit better pictures of this far views. So then if you go over to the other side of the butte, you get the same thing over here. There's actually another killer view there and another killer view down there. All right, well, we made it to Kelly Forks Campground. This was one of the ones I was looking at. We were actually trying to get up to Cedars Campground, which is about 20 miles north of here, but this is where we ended for the day. I actually ran into one of the campground hosts, Joe, that was getting fuel at Pierce when we were refueling in Pierce, who told me about this place, so this is where we ended up. So right here, the Kelly Forks River is right back here, and it goes into the North Fork of the Clearwater, which is this bridge back over here. I'll probably see if I can get some video in the morning on it. So we're kind of in a conundrum. So the problem we ran into is there's been a massive windstorm that's hit this area over the last, say, 3 to 6 months. We got some of that up in Spokane as well. It's been all over the area, and there's a lot of trees down. And so a lot of the normal routes weren't able to do. We hit one on day one trying to get over to the Cedars, and we had to turn around and get an alternate route through that. And then today we hit Another one, the Lolo Motorway, has so many trees down. Some of the locals say that there's a really good chance that it's not even going to be open this year and accessible. So what we're trying to do tomorrow is to get up to Superior, Montana. That was our refuel. We had to route around Pierce and kind of come up the alternate way up here into this area. And then we're told we're probably not going to be able to get up to the Fly Mountain area, sort of to the bottom of Avery. And so what we're going to try and do is get to Beaver Creek and then run the St. Joe River Road back to Avery. And so if we can't do that, then we're going to be calling for some help in Superior, or trying to figure out a way to get from Superior over to, say, DeBorgia or Saltese, and we can get back from there. So it's going to be an exciting day tomorrow, a little bit more exploring. We will see what our final options are for this trip.